Welcome back to Go Wild with Sharon. I'm chatting to Will, who is a wildlife vet and also a big rhino conservationist. Right, Will?
That's correct, Sharon.
Well, welcome here and thank you so much for chatting to me.
Thank you for inviting me. It's wonderful to be here.
Awesome. Now tell me, what does a wildlife vet do?
Well, most of my days are spent out there working with wild animals, which for me is an amazing privilege. It's something that, even though I grew up in the Eastern Cape, in the surrounds of PE, I didn't get the chance to do as a kid. So for me, it's been a wonderful part of my career. I've discovered things about the Eastern Cape through my veterinary work that I never knew existed. And I think that makes it important for me to spend my time trying to share that with as many different people as possible.
I couldn't agree more. Now tell me, you're also a very passionate rhino conservationist, right?
Yeah, I mean, my choice would be to spend my time working on all species out there because I love the biodiversity, particularly of Nelson Mandela Bay and the area that we are
Yes.
part of. We're in a very exciting part of the world, and yeah, so my first prize would be to work on a different animal every day. But in our case, rhino are at the cutting edge of an extreme crisis, really.
Yes.
They are under enormous pressure. They're being poached, and it was through my experiences of having to deal with these traumatized animals at the hands of poachers that this issue now consumes me, and it means that I believe that not a day should go by in my life without doing something for rhino.
Awesome. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, just on that, for me as a layman, as a member of the public, how do we even start educating the public and getting the public involved in rhino conservation?
Yeah, I think, if I go back into my past, the most important thing to do as a person, as a member of this community, is just to acknowledge what's out there. We are in an incredibly special part of our history. We are becoming more valuable to the world because of the animals and the habitats that we have been blessed with, but also the enormous responsibility we have to look after them. And that starts with acknowledging what we are part of. And I think, firstly, the Eastern Cape is an extremely special place. We have not only the Big Five here, but also a Big Seven, which involves marine habitats too. We have this incredible diversity of multitude of biomes. And we have rhino that I don't think many Eastern Capers really appreciate. We have a higher percentage of black rhino in the Eastern Cape than any other province.
Wow.
And we have numbers which we don't like to talk about much, but I can just say we have a very special and very precious part of the world's natural heritage right in our backyard.
Which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, tell me, from that perspective, why would you urge the normal public to go out there and go see a rhino, specifically?
Yeah, I think as global citizens, it's really important to look after iconic species because they are the things that get people out there into the wild. And when you are out in the wild, you start to notice this incredible complexity of the habitats as they should be when they're out there and functioning properly in wildlife. But as Eastern Capers particularly, our responsibility is to look after these things. They form the cornerstone of our green economy. Tourism is such a valuable, such an important part of the future that we have as a country. Many people don't realize, but what we have is unique. This combination of habitats and species, and the people that live here. There is no other place like it in the world. There's no other place like it in the world. So we have to preserve that. We've got to look after it. We've got to grow that, and we've got to develop the full potential that it has, not just for wild animals, but for the human beings that live amongst it, and that is us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, number one thing is we've got to educate ourselves about the space that we live in, the animals that we share it with, and only then, I think, can we really start to be good custodians of our environment.
For us ordinary people out there that want to get involved, that have a passion for conservation, be it rhino, be it abalone, be it elephants, it doesn't matter, would that be your best starting point?
So, number one, educate yourself. Plug yourself into social media. It could be through the Wilderness Foundation, through Chip and Bearer, through any of our local non-profits. You can follow my tweets and Facebook, because I pour a lot of collective knowledge through those channels.
Okay.
Number two, give yourself the opportunity to feel something, because when you're in their presence, you will feel something.
Definitely.
And it's that emotional experience, that absolutely incredible moment of being with something prehistoric. I think it's the last tangible piece of the dinosaurs that we have.
Absolutely.
And that emotion will motivate you for your life. You know, it's not something that I'll need to go and remind you of,
Yes.
because you felt something special and something valuable and something worth saving there. And then you do need to convert that to action, and that could be through social media channels. It could be through speaking to people, be they children, be they influential politicians or representatives in your community, about this thing that's important to you. Or it could be fundraising, because there are wonderful people out there that are doing amazing work at all those levels, at education, at demand reduction, at awareness, at veterinary treatment of survivors or orphans, or just simply managing and protecting animals out there in the wild. And that can be done through the Chip and Bearer Rhino Foundation, or the Wilderness Foundation, or the African Rhino Conservation Collaboration. They are there. Those channels exist. Money always helps, but if you don't have money, or you don't have a way to raise money, then awareness is just as important. I can't emphasize that enough.
Fantastic. Well, Will, thank you so much for chatting to me, and I have a sneaky feeling that we will definitely be chatting in the future.
In the presence of Rhino.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Thanks, Sharon.
Well, guys, there you have it. If you have not come up close and personal with a rhino yet, please do so. It is the most humbling experience. These animals need our help. They need our protection. So go educate yourselves. Follow these organizations. Raise funds for them. Raise awareness for these animals. They need you. Thank you so much for watching.